Dirtle Magic. Thank you for tuning in to Dirtle Magic. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you like the content you see here today, and leave a like and share the video with someone you might think is interested. Leaving those likes really helps us out, but another way to help us out is by using our TCG Player affiliate link below. If you're looking for singles, sealed product, or gaming accessories, please consider using our link to support the channel. We also have some playmats at inkgaming.com. Go ahead and hit the link in the description to check those out. Alright, let's grab some spells and dirtle with some magic. Hello and welcome back to Dirtle Magic. Today we're playing some Minsc Beloved Ranger. Looking at our opening hand, we have mana, we have ramp, we have a Turian Mauler. I think it's good. Our commander is red, green, white for a legendary 3/3 human ranger. When it enters the battlefield, it creates Boo, a legendary 1/1 red hamster creature token with trample and haste, and X until end of turn, target creature we control has base power and toughness XX and becomes a giant in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery. Our turn, we do get to go first. Elemental Bond. Let's do a forest and pass it off. Our first opponent is Golos Pilgrim 5 for a legendary 3/5 artifact creature scout. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for any land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle 2 in Wooburg. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn without paying their mana cost. And they're off to the races with a snow-covered island and a soul ring. Well, that doesn't bode well. Speaking of not boding well, though, is Sisay Weatherlight Captain as our second opponent. 2 white for a legendary 2/2 human soldier. She gets 1/1 for each other color. She gets 1/1 for each color among other legendary permanents you control. And Wooburg, search your library for a legendary permanent card with mana value less than Sisay's power. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Temple of Abandon into play for them. So, could be shrines, could be legendaries, could be planeswalkers. We'll have to wait and find out. Our last opponent with Blue Delta into play and cracked is Wort Bogart Auntie. 2 black, red for legendary 3/3 Goblin Shaman Fear. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return target Goblin card from your graveyard to your hand. They have Smoldering Marsh come into play, rolling back on over to us. Let's see what we get. We get Kodama's Reach, that's fine. Let's do Rootbound Crag. And play Evolution Charm, go get a land. Let's go ahead and get a Plains. And we'll pass it off there. To Golos' turn, Young Pyromancer coming down after a mountain drop. To Sisay, we have a land followed by Felwar Stone. The land is specifically Sea of Clouds. To Wort, Arid Mesa into play and cracked. Haven't seen a Wort deck in a really long time. This should be interesting, although how we are going to fare, Wort and us, against the 5-color, pretty good monstrous decks, depending on what they do, is going to be interesting as well. To our turn, we get Realm Walker, but not going to play that yet. Plains into play. Let's go ahead and ramp a little bit. Let's go ahead, get a mountain. I do want another Plains, but let's go ahead and get a forest for now. Put the mountain into play tapped. Pass off the turn. To Golos' turn, it looks like a Golos. It is a Golos. No attacks out of the Golos player. That's fine with me. Oh, they also put in the World Tree. That's not the best. Sisay's turn, Seaside Citadel, followed by Chromatic Lantern. The 5-color decks can now tap for all 5 colors. Ancient Tomb into play for Wort. Let's see if they cast their commander. They do not. It's Tuk Tuk Scrapper. They get to destroy an artifact. But is it going to be Golos or Chromatic Lantern? It'll be Golos. To our turn, Spire Garden is a card. Let's go ahead and play it. And then, I don't know, card hands are pretty full. Now, I am worried about removal from Wort. But I do want to get something down. Let's go ahead and do the Realm Walker. And we'll choose Giant. We are doing a Giant tribal kind of thing. It's Toski on top. New 2-drops. Let's pass it off. I think next turn, Turian Mauler and Elemental Bond. And see how things go from there. And kind of just sit on Terror of the Peaks for some removal. I don't want it to be removed immediately off the battlefield. Our recursion is a little bit low. Could possibly do Elemental Bond in our commander. Might be better that way too because we got a card replacement. Oh, it's Dragon's Approach. Wonder if it's that kind of deck. All of Golos' opponents take 3. We are down to 37. Sisay down to 37. Wort down to 33. No attacks out of Golos. Over to Sisay. Nissa Vastward Seer coming down for Sisay. That will be some ramp for a basic forest. Sisay Weatherlight Captain coming to the battlefield for that player. They also have Wooburg and stuff. Their commander will be a 3/3. Over to Wort. We have a mountain into play. Let's see what they do. Nothing in the graveyard yet besides their lands. I am worried about Dragon's Approach deck being over there. That could be a pain in the butt. Have played against a few of those. They can be very quick. We have Festering Goblin coming down for Wort. Top of our library, Battlefield Forge. Let's play a Forest. Let's go ahead and cast Elemental Bond. And then we'll cast our commander. Minsc Beloved Ranger to the stack. And he gets to make a boo. Look at that face. He just wants to hug you real close with those teeth. Alright, now we're to attack. Let's just pass it off. Although I guess we could pressure a little bit on Golos, but I think I want to keep Realm Walker around for a little. 2 Golos' turn. We have mana tapping. It's Niv-Mizzet Perrin. Okay. Followed by Mind Stone. 2 Sisay. Still hoping it's not a Shrine deck. We do not have a lot of removal in the deck for enchantments. Would be a bit of a sad face. There's Shalai, Sublime Artificer. Followed by Oath of Liliana. Oh, Super Friends. Here we go. Alright, when enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. I'm so sorry, boo. But you have to go now. Actually, we could sacrifice Minsc. Nah, Commander attacks. Yeah, it's gotta be boo. Sad face. Festering Goblin will trigger when it dies. -1/-1/2 something. There goes the servo. Yep, playing Planeswalkers will get you a little bit of hate. Honestly though, I do like the combination of blue-red walkers. Just a lot of interesting back and forth with those. Might build that someday. I don't know. Let's see if Sisay goes to attack anywhere. No attacks. Oath of Liliana will trigger. They get a zombie. 2 Wort with a Goblin Sharpshooter. Yeah, black doesn't have a lack of death touchy things. Now I'm a little bit concerned. Mog War Marshal coming down. It has Echo. When there's the battlefield or dies, they get a 1/1 red goblin creature token. And Echo is basically if you don't pay the cost on your next upkeep, it dies, so they'd get a goblin replacement. Not terrible. Rolling on over to us, we draw a mountain, and on the top we have Quakebringer. Let's go ahead and play mountain. So let's go ahead. We don't really have anything to do card draw on right now. I think let's get down the Quakebringer and kind of just see where it goes. Cinderglade on the top. Mountain on top. I think that's all we're going to do for now. Still nowhere to attack necessarily, so let's pass it off. I do eventually want to get rid of that Goblin Sharpshooter though. Niv-Mizzet Perrin will trigger for the first time this game. They'll get rid of the Goblin Sharpshooter, that works for me. I'm worried about Golos comboing out over there though. Ooh, Helm of Awakening coming down. Spells cost 1 less to cast. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be helping us as much as it is helping them and Sisay. There's Dragon Approach again. Niv-Mizzet triggers again. They'll deal 1 damage to Saheeli. We go down to 34. 34 for Sisay, 28 for Wort. And another Dragon's Approach. Yep, we're going to have to kill them as much as we can. Sad face. Niv-Mizzet doing some more damage to Saheeli. We are down to 31. Niv-Mizzet on the attack out of the Golos player. Off into the Sisay player. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense if they're going to drop Planeswalkers and start accruing value. Damage is good. Sisay down to 26. Sisay's turn, tapping down some mana. Sisay is being activated. They'll go search for a legendary friendly thing. Hey, they got Carth. We did a series on that on the channel. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check that out. They reveal Narset Transcendent. This is not a Planeswalker I've seen a lot of. It's just a very specific Planeswalker, and I'm kind of okay with that. Sisay's on the attack. It's off into Golos. Yeah, if they're going to be playing tons of Dragon's Approach, then they just copy spells and we'll be taking, what, 9 to 12 damage a turn? I mean, we'll be swinging into Golos too at this rate. They do only have 1 card in hand, though. Damage is good. Niv-Mizzet up to 6 commander, down to 33. We also do have to balance the fact that Sisay is starting to get ahead on stuff. There's Narset Transcendent, speaking of getting ahead. So, that's also a little problematic. We'll have to keep an eye on them and maybe crash into them a little bit. They get to look at the top card of their library. If it's a non-creature, non-land card, they may reveal it and put it into their hand. Let's see if they reveal anything. They do not. Must be a creature. Or a land. Oath of Liliana will trigger. They get another Zombobo. 2 Wort's turn. Mog War Marshal will echo. They can pay the 1 red to keep it around, or it will die and give them another goblin token. Either way is kind of good. Yep, there it goes. They get a new token. Nothing out of Wort this turn. Okay. Let's go ahead. I mean, I wouldn't mind a board wipe right now. Comes our turn, we get Cinderglade Mountain on top. Quakebringer will trigger. 2 damage to each of our opponents. 100-handed one on top. Could be good later. Let's do Cinderglade to the field. And then I kind of want to do the Sunrise Sovereign. We really need to get going here, and we didn't hit almost any of our ramp, so... I mean, we have like a lot more ramp than 2 in the deck. Let's go ahead and do the things. Sunrise Sovereign 2, the stack, does cost 1 less thanks to the Helm. We get to draw a card. We'll need double and triple white for that one, so Battlefield Forge next turn most likely. Treacherous Terrain. That could be good. Could be real good. Alright, what else do we want to play? I think at this point we'll get down the Turian Mauler. Actually, let's hold up white like we have something. It'll come into play. We get to draw another card. It gets 2/2 from the Sunrise Sovereign. Brian, Stout Arm on top. Good for tossing things. Let's go to attacks. Let's go ahead and swing at the Sisay player and the Golos player. We have Carth on the interception with a zombie. And what is that, a servo? That'll kill our giant, but we'll trade with Carth, no problem. Damage is good. Golos down to 27. Our Quakebringer does die, but that was all part of the plan. Did get rid of Carth though, so that's awesome. Also get rid of the servo, less blockers for Sisay. Roll it over. Niv-Mizzet is going to smack us with a claw. We'll take 1. We go down to 30. Let's see how many dragon approaches they can do this turn. We have Golos coming out. Turian Mauler will get larger. Golos player will search for a land. I bet it's going to be a mountain or some red source. It is that Boilerworks. Let's see what they'll return to their hand. They return a tap mountain. They replay the mountain. Niv on the attack again out of Golos. It's off into Narset. Damage is good. Narset down to 3. They're rolling it on over to Sisay. To Sisay's turn. They have 1 activation out of the commander so far. Landfall trigger. Nizza will flip over. That also means they'll have another zombie for defense. I have a number of abilities. I think we need to start laying into Sisay pretty hard here. We have Tezzeret, Artifice Master. Okay, so more defense and some card draw. Turian Mauler will trigger again. Let's make it bigger. Tezzeret is activated. They get to draw a card. They do control, let's see, 3 more artifacts? They do, so they get to draw 2 cards instead. Narset being activated for the +1, they get to look at the top card. It's Miri's Guile. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's kind of like Sylvan Library Light. I do like this card a lot. Probably need to pick one up. I used to have one way back in the day, but didn't know how much it was. And being a noob, a sad face, and all that jazz, sold it off. Oh well. Regrets? Ooh, Favorable Elder, one of my personal favorite cards in my Niv-Mizzet Old Gold deck. That's another video you can check out. It's a 1-of though. I'll put a link for that down in the description as well. I'll put a link for Niv-Mizzet Old Gold Casual down in the description below as well. It's just a casual, fun, old gold card kind of deck. Miri's Guile coming down. They'll get another servo to defend their face. That's not my favorite. Turian Mauler did get larger though. It's an 8/8. Nissa is going to create a legendary 4/4 elemental. That's going to be troublesome. No attacks as Sisay to the end of turn. They get another zombie. Getting through on them with just creatures alone is going to be a pain in the butt. So, Terror of the Peaks time, I suppose. Unfortunately, our deck is being a little bit slow on the mana, so might have to work that out later on. Wort straight through the turn. They did play a Strip Mine though, so that's good against the World Tree, I guess, but it doesn't look like that's Golos' real plan. I think it's just there for kind of like the mana fixing. Quakebringer will trigger from the graveyard. That's such a nice ability. We get Brown Star Arm off the top, Firelit Thicket on top of the deck. That's a little bit of a sad face though. Let's play Battlefield Forge. And Terror of the Peak, since it only costs 4, that should be nice and dandy. We get to draw that land off the top. Hopefully there's a nice giant up there. Nope, it's a Sacred Foundry. Let's cast the Stout Arm. Terror of the Peaks will trigger. Let's deal 6 damage off into Sisay's face. We draw a card, yet another land on top. Terror of the Peaks will do the damage. Let's go to attacks, and let's force Sisay to eat some chumpers. Not too worried about the walkers just yet. Let's just smack them in the face. Let's see what they chump with. I imagine it's going to be the zombies and the servos. They're going to save the Fey for an activation on Sisay, so they get 2. After that, we can just throw damage at people. Oh, Sisay's actually getting in the way. That's interesting. Yeah, no, we'll kill Sisay. That's fine. Sisay down, so is our Turian Mauler. That's fine with me, though. And we'll pass it off there. So, potentially, next turn, they'll be down to 14. We could toss a guy and attack with a little bit more, but I think we're going to need a little bit something extra. Treacherous Terrain could be good. That will deal 7 damage. Then they get down to 7. Just don't know. We don't have enough damage to take them out of the game. Let's see what Niv-Mizzet does with the turn and how that goes. They might deal another Dragon's Approach. Niv-Mizzet does ping us for 1 though. We're going down to 28. There it is. Golos is being activated. That's a sad face. Out of 1 5-color fire into another. We have 2 Dragon's Approach and Jace's Sanctum. Okay. Well, if Sisay gets low enough where we can just drop something big, hopefully, get them out of the game, and then swing into Niv, that could work. Or, sorry, Golos. We're going to be taking 1 damage again. We have a sad face, but they are playing it round and fair. We are at the highest life total of their opponents. We go down to 24 total after the Dragon's Approach. Sisay down to 13, 18 for Wort. Poor Wort, they haven't really done anything this game. Look kind of bad for him. Niv-Mizzet will deal 1 more damage to us. We're going down to 23. Sisay at 10, Wort at 15. We are at the 20. The Golos player at 25, so they are within our kill range. If they swing with Niv-Mizzet, we can trample over Golos probably. Could be a thing. I'm really hoping Niv-Mizzet doesn't swing into us though. That'd be a bit of a sad face. Storm Kiln Artist coming down. I don't know why I always want to call it Arsonist. I honestly don't know why. But that's cool. Treasure for them. It's yet another Dragon's Approach. Things get out of hand a little bit here. Niv-Mizzet dealing another 1 damage to us. Down to 19, then 3 from the approach. Down to 16. Ooh, another Dragon's Approach. You know what I haven't seen? Dragon's Approach on Firesong and Sunspeaker. I wonder if that could be a thing. We'll be taking that 1 damage again. Down to 15, then to 12. Okay, so this might be game here then. I don't know if we're going to survive. Unfortunately, Stout Arm does not have haste. Otherwise, we could use it to toss something and try eke out a victory here. Well, let's see how things go. Another 1 damage. Another 3 damage. Okay, we have 1 chance to live here. They have to be running out of Dragon's Approaches. Looks like Sisay's going to respond with something. Cyclonic Rift. They are targeting Niv-Mizzet. Okay, that might actually save us. I don't know if it's going to save them per se. Because Niv-Mizzet right here, he's going to trigger first. They could just burn them out of the game and remove it from the stack. So, we'll have to see. They do. They're just going to remove Cyc Rift from the stack. I mean, good try by Sisay though. But there they go. And they're gone. Sad face. Dragon Approach, I like that red finally got out. You can have any number. But it is kind of, I mean, it's a deck. It's not my favorite to play against. Usually it gets to this point where you can't do much of anything, and it's a lot of solitaire. So if you have it and it's a gimmick deck, yeah, sure, use it. Just don't use it all the time. That's my opinion anyway. We go down to 4, 1 more Dragon's Approach, and that's a game. And there it is. Good game to our opponents. Unfortunately, we just got approached out of the game. Sadness. Okay, I'm going to give it actually to the Wort player, because they just stayed in the game. They didn't quit just because they didn't have anything. And that's something to be rewarded, especially on Magic Online. People just quit. They don't even see how the game's going to go. They don't see if they're going to draw into anything. They're just like, I don't have it right now. I'm leaving. Yeah, people want to play Magic, but you should also see where your deck might falter. You can't always, you know, have it be working all the time. Sometimes you have to recover from that and see if you even can. Alright, there it is. 2 votes for us. Thank you, opponents, and 1 vote to everyone else. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the deck. Okay, here's the deck. I was doing some research on Minsc, and frankly, it suffers from a lot of what I think Naya commanders suffer from, which is like, creatures do the thing smash smash. We definitely need a different Naya commander. Legendary Tamanoa. Beyond that, though, I did go with the smashy thing, obviously, but I also went with like a mostly giant tribal kind of thing, because he does make things giants, which is fine. We can make our non-giants into giants, and Boo can become a giant. Other than that, Minsc is kind of here for the colors and the Boo. I mean, who doesn't want Boo? But with enough mana, we can also make one of our smaller guys a lot bigger and possibly hit a lot harder. And we do have stuff like, you know, the Brian Stout Arm and the Terror of the Peaks to deal extra damage. So it's not entirely useless, but maybe put in something that makes it more useful. To that end, we have giants such as Beanstalk Giant for some ramp, Realm Cloaked Giant for that one-sided board wipe we all love and need. Earthshaker Giant to give our guys 3/3 and trample until end of turn out of the, I don't know, what was that, like game night number 20 or something? Realistically, I think it's the second or third one, but specifically that card is a 6/6 for 6 with trample that gives our things trample. Why not? Protector of the Crown, because we like card draw. Wandering Greybeard. This is kind of in there just because I wanted to use them and gain some life. Could replace it with something else. I do want to put Clemne's Captain in to get rid of artifacts and enchantments, so it'll probably come out for that. War Chief Giant, because swing at everybody. Sunder Shaman to get rid of those pesky artificial things. Also, this giant looks so small for other giants compared to them. Don't know what that's about. Calamity Bearer for all that double damage goodness. Shadow Skull Charger because I wanted another 3-drop giant, and because I has Trample and Haste. And for non-giant things, we have Iroas and Nyla for some combat-relevant abilities. We do have Ninth of the Dire Hunt in case our stuff gets blocked. And we can double the power on something. Kind of goes along with the deck, but more card draw. Grave Sifter to get something back, namely our giants, because you get to choose a creature type and they all come back. Zerda the Dawnwaker for some of our abilities, namely the one on Nyla and the one on Minsc. Destiny Spear for some anti-counterattack. Toski for some card draw. And last but not least, of course, Terror of the Peaks, because it's not as strong as Warstorm Surge, but it's a 5-drop, it flies, it does the damage and throws it, why not? Anyway, here's the deck, pretty straightforward right now. Like I said, maybe a little bit more ramp, or I don't really know. Probably a little bit more ramp. We are pretty high on the mana curve. The Helm of the Awakening did help us out a lot though, so it's kind of hard to gauge the deck right now. I'll maybe test it out a bunch before I do anything else. Treacherous Terrain is usually there for the ramp rather than the win condition, so maybe take that out, especially if we get trapped into where we like need lands or something, and put in something else. Sylvan Reclamation probably staying in. In either case, that's the deck. If you saw any cards that you want to purchase for yourself in paper, sealed product, or gaming accessories to protect all of that glory, please consider using the TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. It helps out the channel and doesn't cost you anything extra. Alright, on to the next game from Minsc. Do a little switch up. Probably smack down some faces, use a boo to boo on people's boo. I don't know. Anyway, until then, stay safe out there.